Hi, and welcome to day 22 of the 30-day mixed media card challenge. If you want to find all the others, they're in the description below, on the screen, wherever. But today's card is this one here. So let's get started.
You're going to need a large piece of card that you folded in half, or a card blank. Mine's 7 by 5 inches, this card. And then you're going to need some buttons. So you could use any card blank or any piece of card, any colours you like. I've gone for white just because I think it's nice and bold with the little flowers. What am I talking about? Little buttons that are going to be our flowers. Just arrange them however you like. And just a little word of warning, if you're thinking of sticking anything on like a greeting, just position that before you glue anything down. I've got some free greetings if you'd like them, so there'll be a link on the screen in the description below and you can print those off. And then you're literally going to glue those buttons down. I'm using a cool melt glue gun, which is just like a hot melt glue gun, but the glue's a little bit cooler and doesn't burn your fingers. But you could use a multi-purpose glue. You could probably even use a glue stick, but they wouldn't be as secure. It's just about getting them to stay on there. And it's your pattern, your design. Just think a little bit about where your stems are going to go. If you put any of the flowers above the others, you might have a stem that runs behind one, and that's fine, but just give it a little bit of thought. And once they're all in place, we can give them stems and leaves. So I'm just checking my little greeting's going to fit. And it has one of those sticky pads on the back, and I've kept it far too long and it's no longer sticky. So if that happens to you, just do what I'm doing. Apply some glue and use it anyway. There's nothing wrong with the greeting or the topper. It's just the glue on the foam pad. And then that's in place. Let's get some stems. Now I'm using a fine green pen. You could use more of a marker pen. It's all to personal choice, but don't use a ruler. You want your stems to look natural, so they're all going to curve a little bit. They're going to curve different ways. I tend to take mine right down to the bottom, and then I don't have to worry about what they're in. They're just flowers. And I think those stems are a little narrow, so if you've got stems and you're not happy with them, just go over them with your pen. You can see I'm just colouring it in basically and making it a bit stronger, a bit more prominent. Obviously, if you're using a thicker marker, you're not going to need to do that. If you're enjoying this card, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like making cards, I've got a whole selection of these, all very, very different. I do recommend you take a look. So I'll link to that as well. Now, once I've got stems, I like to add leaves. My drawing is not great, so I just stick to nice little simple leaves, just like that one. And you can add as many or as few as you like to your stems. And you're just going to keep repeating this all the way along them all and building it up. And what you'll see with your leaves is that you might go back later and add them. It's the overall composition that you're trying to get to look how you want. So don't feel fixed that, oh, I finished that stem, I can't go back to it. Because of course you can. And it's worth sometimes just stepping back, having a look, see what you think. It's your creation. You could also add petals round your flowers if you wanted, round your buttons, which is another thing that you can do to create a bit more interest. I've chosen to just keep my buttons as the flowers, but you could draw petals, you could draw them to match, you could draw them to contrast or coordinate. You could add a background to this. You could have put a square or probably a rectangle of a different coloured paper, or perhaps a scene you printed off, a field, and then you could add these on the front. This is just a basic card for you to go away and create whatever you would like. And once you've got those on, you're done. You've got a beautiful card that anyone would love to receive. And what I would say is you can use this technique for art as well. So I'm just going to show you some button art that I've done. So I've just done a simple picture, just the same as the card. And I've also done one where I drew a heart and then stuck the buttons in the heart shape. And you can do that with anything you like. I do have a video about that, which is linked on the screen.